With us, De-Mario Knowles is a keynote speaker and a student at the University of Toronto who is kicking off the D-Impact Tour in Scarborough on February 10th. And he joins me today. De-Mario, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
I am doing great, and I'm better because you're here.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
So you have a really interesting story. And before we get to your tour, I want to talk about how you got into it, because you were just telling me this off camera. And it started with a poem.
Yes. So back in January 2021, I was a part of this nonprofit called A Teen Perspective, and we wrote journal articles about different things going on in the world. But Let's Talk Day was coming up, and I wanted to get more involved. So whenever the president said the opportunity was available to write a poem about Let's Talk Day, I immediately raised my hand. But then I immediately hated myself in the moment, because I'm a science student even to this day, and I'm out here as a then 16-year-old little boy, raising his hand to write a poem about mental health. And then I did it anyway, and I wrote the poem about mental health. And I'm a very basic person, so I quite literally titled the poem, I wrote this poem about mental health. And I asked if I could put it on my Instagram, and she gave me the okay, and I did it, and I went to sleep and woke up the next day, and I started getting all these comments from all these people around the world saying things like, this resonates with me, this is something I can relate to. And one person even told me that it saved their life, because they lived in a household where they couldn't express how they felt with their family. So seeing that someone else was, doing their part in making a difference while navigating mental health challenges simultaneously gave them hope that they too could be in that position as well in the future. And then ever since then, I got invited to do a speech that same year at Frenchman's Bay Public School in Pickering. And then it's been 5 years now since I've been doing this thing.
That's fantastic. So what do you talk about when you go and do your speaking engagements?
Yeah, so most of what I talk about is related to things like mental health. And I adapt here and there depending on my clients' needs. I've done things about entrepreneurship, finance, EDI, and things like that. But the main keynote that I always revolve around is helping people change their mental inventory. And what that is that we all carry perceptions about ourselves as we go on here and there in our daily lives. And sometimes the things that we carry in our minds are negative perceptions about ourselves, whether it's caused by ourselves, caused by external influences. So I try to show people that you too have value. And if you can change the way you think about yourself, then that's how you truly allow yourself to love yourself and thrive, because self-love is the best love. Yeah. And if you're able to achieve that, then that's what makes life so much more meaningful.
So let's talk about your tour.
Yes. So the tour, I've always wanted to do a speaking tour because my good buddy Sam Dema, he's a keynote speaker that's absolutely taking on the world by storm. But I've never had the drive to, step out of my fears, really take it on, because it's a huge ambition, especially being a pre-med. But Sam was like, you know what, buddy, just go for it. It's worth it. And, I've been reaching out, getting the calendar booked out with, sending out all these outreaches, messages to different schools and universities across the 3 provinces I'm speaking at. And, it's a lot of coordination, still sending out emails day by day. But, I want to reach as many people as I can across the world. And this is the starting ground. It's only going to get so much bigger. But yeah, no, this is the starting ground. Ontario, Nova Scotia, and Manitoba are the 3 provinces I'm hoping to hit throughout now to April. So we're going to see where it goes.
Well, what does it feel like for you when you're on the stage and maybe you're speaking at a school and there are all the kids looking up at you and listening to everything that you're saying, and they get that, you get that big round of applause and that you've connected with them. What does that feel like?
It's absolutely amazing, especially because I'm relatively young to the audience. I freshly turned 20 in December. So because I'm 20 years old, and a lot of these people are 15, 16, 14, they're close in age to me, and they can even see themselves in me to an extent. And it's funny because I've actually been called Unc one time by one of the students I've spoken at, and it's very comedic, but to know that you're perceived that way in such a colloquial manner with when you're on the stage and everything is absolutely amazing. And whenever I do a speech, I always like to end with a little chant I do with the audience that goes 1, 2, 3, impact. And when the whole crowd is out there shouting my chant, it's such a surreal feeling.
That's
it's
amazing.
So awesome. Yeah, thank you.
I can tell just by the way that you are, you're very passionate about what you do. And you've taken on this big initiative because, you are, I don't want to say only 20 years old, but you're a young man.
Yeah.
You're going to school and simulataneously also working on, being a speaker.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Thank you so much.
Your family must be so proud.
Oh, yes. I try to make my mom proud every single day. She's actually, here in the studio right now. So doing whatever I can to, put on for the family, put on for Durham, just, try to make an impact. That's what the whole mission is for.
What's the dream?
The dream is to well, I mean, obviously I want to become a doctor, so I'm a
Yes.
pre-med as well, but also I want to inspire so many people in the world to see that just because you have a rough start doesn't mean you can't have a smooth finish. You know, I've never been like, you know, naturally gifted or naturally athletic. I'm just a random guy from like a small town on a random street. I want to show people that despite the circumstances that you may be facing in life, you too can be just as great and even better than anyone else.
I love it. Where can people find more information about the D-Impact Tour? If maybe there's a teacher or an organization watching this.
Yeah.
We still have more time, so we don't need to wrap it up just yet. But where can people find the information about it?
I'm on all socials, Instagram, Twitter, starting up YouTube, LinkedIn as well. You can type my name into Google, just my first and last name, and you'll see everything about me. My email is also in my Instagram and my LinkedIn as well. So if you find me through those pages, you can like email me and contact me directly there.
Right.
And website is coming soon, so there's going to be a website as well on the works as well.
Very good.
Thank
So
you.
what kind of, we're going to deviate a little bit. Let's just talk about you for a little bit. What kind of medicine do you want to practice?
I've always been, obviously, I've been a big fan of mental health. And ever since I've started my university journey, the program that I'm doing at the University of Toronto, it's a program based in neuroscience and clinical psychology, and there's a huge intersection there because it's all
Yes.
about the brain, and obviously mental health is about the brain. So psychiatry has definitely been something that has piqued my interest in recent years, but I've always been a big cardiology fan, and this is kind of corny, but I really heart the heart, you know? So cardiology has also been something that I'm like, you know, kind of interested in as well, but as I'm going through my pre-medical journey and as I get into medical school, fingers crossed, I'm hoping that, you know, by the time I get to that point, I can like really decide on which path I want to go
Yeah.
down. But those are the two that I'm focusing on for the moment.
Well, fantastic. This has just been wonderful. Thank you so much for coming in today. Again, where can people find you? Maybe, let's say, Instagram.
Yes, my handle is quite literally my first and last name, DE_Mario Knowles. Again, you can also Google me, and then I'll be on all platforms as well.
I've loved our conversation. Thank you so much for coming in today. And it's time for a very quick break, but do not go away. I'll see you soon.